years ago, a very good friend of mine nominated me to run for city council. Today I am honored and privileged to return that favor. Throughout our lives, we meet many people. Some of those people we never see again, and some end up becoming our very close and dear friends. I think it is the rare occasion that you meet someone for the first time and they make such a lasting impression that even after 25 years, you still remember the moment you met them. I'm Jon Bright, the owner of the spectacle shop in the downtown mall. 25 years ago, as I was closing for the night, I turned around to see a police officer standing behind me. I reached out, shook his hand, and before I could introduce myself, a very distinctive New York accent said, "How you doing?" We stood and talked for quite a while, and I asked him what brought him to Charlottesville. He told me as a police officer he wanted the opportunity to live and raise a family in the same community that he worked. He told me that he felt Charlottesville would allow him those opportunities and that he was excited to be here. I believe there are 4 qualifications essential for a city councilor. 1, they must be friendly. 2, they must be knowledgeable. 3, they must be committed to Charlottesville. And most importantly, they must be trustworthy. Friendly. When you meet Mike in his police uniform on the streets of Charlottesville, or at his son's or daughter's baseball or softball games, you come away feeling this man has never met a stranger. Knowledgeable. Mike has worked in and around City Hall for 25 years. Mike knows and is respected by every department head in the city, and he will know who to go to for answers when a need arises. 3, committed to Charlottesville. Mike moved to Charlottesville in 1988 and has lived at his current home in the Fry Springs neighborhood for the past 16 years. Mike and his family have been members of the city church for 10 years, and his children attend both Walker and Buford schools. Mike has served our community in many capacities, first and foremost as an officer on the Charlottesville Police Force. During his 25 years in the force, he has worked as a patrolman, a DARE officer, 6 years on the Joint Narcotics Task Force, and for the last 12 years as a sergeant. Mike served 9 years on the board of the Fry Springs Neighborhood Association, 4 years on the Charlottesville Planning Commission. Trustworthy. When you say someone is trustworthy, you think of someone who will always be there for you, even when the going gets tough. That is a Farruggio family way of life. Not only is Mike a 25-year veteran of the Charlottesville Police Force, but his wonderful wife, Jan, has been a fixture at the Emergency Call Center, otherwise known as the 911 Center, for over 25 years. When Charlottesville residents need help, they know they can count on Mike and Jan Farruggio. To give you an example of how much trust we as a community put in Mike, last summer during the presidential campaign, President Obama stopped at my store in the downtown mall. The president and I spoke for a few minutes. After the motorcade left the mall, Mike came running into my store and said he couldn't believe that I had just met and talked with the president. Mike then told me that he had been selected to be part of the police detail that protects the president on the last 5 presidential visits to Charlottesville. Talk about trustworthy. If the President of the United States can trust him, I know the citizens of Charlottesville can trust him. With that being said, I would like to nominate for City Council my good friend, Mike Farruggio.